Hey traders, John Howell here. In today's video I want to cover the stock market, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq. We had a bit of a sharp sell-off today. What does that actually mean and what do I see happening moving forward in the stock market? Let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty guys, if you haven't done so, I am running a bit of a sale, $7 to my entire breakthrough trading course. If you need help with your trading, foundations, chart reading strategies, trading systems and mindset, go grab that. $7. I'm running a bit of a sale to help you guys out. Now let's have a look at what's going on right now in the good old stock market, because we had a bit of a sharp sell-off today. And firstly, I do believe, and why am I anyway, why am I so puffy? You're probably thinking, John, you're out of breath. I'm like, I know, I just ran into the computer and just turned the microphone on and let's go. So anyway, the stock market had a bit of a sharp sell-off today, and I am expecting to see some follow-through. There's probably likely to be some follow-through moving forward. Now, here's the really interesting thing that I'm noticing about what happened in the stock market today. A bit of a sharp sell-off. Now, one, I do see follow-through happening, so probably tomorrow is going to be another down day. But I also do see that this is probably going to be some sort of just a little bit of a dip before we start to see another rip in the stock market. Now, I could be wrong, so don't shoot the messenger. You know, don't be a little bumblebee and go start to place positions based on what I just said. You heard the disclaimer, and I mean that. 90% of you bumblebees are probably not going to listen to anything I just say and just do what you want to do, but that's okay as well too. So what I do see here is I see a bit of a dip. And the really interesting thing is this, is that I can see out of the stock market, at the S&P 500, you can see how we're in this nice upward channel, but we actually had a little pop to the upside, and then we came down. You can see a very, very, very nice closing below this sort of support line now. So by looking at the S&P 500, we had a little bit of a drop, but here's the really interesting. When I open up my charts a bit more to a bit more of a bigger picture, look what I see here. Look what actually is going on here. Firstly, we have a major support level down here, and then I have this low level down here. So right here on the S&P 500, and people say, John, what number is that? It's not really a number. It's more like a maybe 3,700 level is probably going to be a bit of a support level. So you can see that that's the low level. So if we got down to, I would expect to see a bit of a support around that 3,700. Maybe 3,650 level. That's where I see this thing possibly getting down to and even finding support. So I don't see, now it could be, but I don't see this pullback. That I do see a bit of a follow through happening tomorrow. I don't see this pullback being big. In fact, I think the exact opposite is likely to happen. I see this as a little bit of a pullback to start to freak people out. You're going to hear the talking heads and the punts and the little bumblebees and little pumpkins and, you know, little fairy flosses and all this sort of thing come out and say the stock market's going to, you know, that's it, it's over, the top's in, you know, and that's it, the market's going to crash now, it's going to be the start of a big massive crash. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not for me anyway. I don't think so. Not looking at the actual stock market itself or the actual S&P 500. I don't think so. I think we're just going to get a short-term little dip before we see an enormous rip for the rest of this year. Just maybe something similar to what we saw last year, but not as obviously big like we did, like the big sort of crash that we saw last year. Now, on the flip side of what I have just said, I have never seen more of a time where we are being so divided in, say, I'm looking at the S&P 500 and we're getting a big down day. But I've never seen ever in history where I've seen more stocks in the one indice, such as the S&P 500, where a lot of stocks are making massive bull moves to the upside, and then there's a portion or there's a basket of stocks that are making big moves on the downside, all in the one S&P. Now, normally on a big down day like we got on the S&P 500, you get a lot of down movement in a lot of stocks and not much up movement. But I am seeing the opposite happening right now. Big selling happening right now, which actually, by the way, this selling move is going to be a really good buying opportunity. If you know what to look for, guys, and if you're set up and if you're ready, this could be one of the greatest gifts. This could be the greatest gift of this year. of this pullback that we're likely to see now moving in through the rest of this year. And I truly believe that if we continue to see a bit more of a pullback right now, it's going to be an early or a happy new year gift for that, because it's going to create a lot of good buying opportunities across a lot of the stock market there. And so I'm looking at that on the S&P 500. Same thing for the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones was in this, you can see this channel that the Dow Jones was in for the last sort of 3 months or so. But you can see we actually just came up and then it just dropped down. So I see the Dow Jones probably having another, maybe even a 3 to 4, 5% drop to the downside. But I don't think it's going to be likely to be too much. You can see these from this high here to this low here. That was around 10% from this high here down to this low here. Again, that was around, say, 8 to 9%. So if I go from the high here down to this low here, you got maybe if it drops just slightly below here, you're still getting 7, 8%, which is also these highs up here as well too. So we may even get a bit of a flush down out of here, and then a continuation move to the upside. So I do see the Dow Jones probably likely to continue out of this or continue down. And I do see this around that 29,000 is probably going to be the level where I do see this thing is going. But once again, guys, this dip that I see happening is going to be really, really, the dip is a gift. The gift is in the dip, because the dip is where, just like last year for me and my private clients, last year when March was happening, I was telling everyone that this is a gift, this is a gift, this is a gift. If you actually go to my YouTube homepage, you'll be able to see a video there where I was actually talking about what I was doing during the whole crash that happened last year. So you'll be able to see that on my main YouTube channel there. And so I just see that that's what's likely to happen moving forward and drop to the downside. And same for the Nasdaq as well too. Now Nasdaq is still where it is right now, but the long-term support line on the Nasdaq is down the bottom here. So if we did get a drop to the downside, that's probably a 10% drop, maybe even a little bit more. So that's probably going to be the correction. And from there, we're probably likely to find support, and we're probably likely to rally up and have a really, really successful year moving forward for the rest of this year. So right now, what I'm seeing across the stock market is this is a gift, right? And if it does continue down, it's even more of a gift than that. So just make sure, guys, you know what to look for and be non-emotional to these markets. So I was talking to some of my private clients today, and man, they get emotional about one day moving up and down. It's like they get so emotional. Guys, no, don't. It's a very, 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 very big mistake that you're actually doing when it comes to your trading there. So I hope this helps you out today, guys. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the like button as well too, all that sort of down home country goodness. And make sure you join that flash sale in the $7 trading course. In the $7 trading course, guys, I'm releasing, it's like you got your foundations in there. So, you know, what goes into a good trader. I've also got the bullseye method, the thing you need to know that goes into every successful trader. I've got, a couple of really good chart reading techniques in there as well. I've got, to help you read the charts, I've got a couple of really good trading systems to help you get ahead in the markets. And then also I got to touch on the mindset stuff that most of you little pumpkins, little bumblebees don't really focus on and don't really want to talk about. So I also talk about in there as well too. So I hope this helps you out today, guys. Don't be emotional about this dip, because non-emotional investors are probably going to use this as a time to start getting ready and start getting excited about these markets. So on and onset, guys, and a bit of a recap here on the onset for the next probably maybe week, maybe more. I do see a bit of a follow through to the downside, but I believe it's going to be short-lived. I believe the buyers are going to come back in, start to rip it, and then I believe for the rest of this year, we're likely to see some enormous moves up. But on the flip side, we always must be in the mode of the opposite can happen as well too. And if you cannot afford to lose money, you should not be in the markets, because that's the worst place for you to be. Because I guarantee you, the money that you cannot afford to lose, that'll be the money that you're probably likely to lose, right? Because you're probably likely to get into something because you think it's going to make you a lot of money, and then those trades never work out anyway. And because you think it's going to make you a lot of money, then you're going to make emotional decisions and oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And then something what happens is, you know, you're all over the place, and before you know it, you're emotional, you get out at the wrong time, and then it takes off like a rocket, and then you're left there with a loss, and now it's actually making a profit, and so on and so forth. So keep your risk low, guys. This dip that's likely to continue happening is a gift.